Welcome into NFL Daily by Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey. We are about, give or take a couple days, 3 weeks away from the NFL draft, but the NFL trade rumors are heating up right now. And Bleacher Report has come out with 7 different trade rumors/ideas. So we'll go through each of them, beginning with the most obvious one in the world, Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. And it has sounded like for what feels like a month, but it's not quite a month. It's a matter of when, not if, Rodgers ends up a member of the New York Football Jets. The alleged trade parameters, 2 seconds, one of which being conditional, going to Green Bay. Potentially wide receiver Corey Davis, namely if Odell Beckham ends up in New York. The Jets get Aaron Rodgers, and the sticking points has been the fact that Jets want a conditional 2025 pick in the event that Aaron Rodgers only plays 1 year because, you know, you got to sacrifice everything to get maybe 1 year of Rodgers, who, if you get 2020 or 2021 version of Rodgers, it's worth it. If you get last year's version, he wasn't good enough to make the playoffs, and it was Rodgers who did not play as well. The money, Rodgers says he's open to adjusting. I don't know about that. He's once said that he didn't need to play for $50 million. That was untrue, and then got $50 million. So it's a bit dicey as far as I'm concerned. But the money is not due. That option bonus is not paid out until week 1. So it could be a little bit before Rodgers ends up getting dealt the new benchmark timeline by or during, I suppose, the NFL draft. Will Rodgers be moved by that point in time? Y for yes, N for no. Go ahead and head down to the comment section and sound off right now. Will Rodgers be traded by the NFL draft? Another big obvious name, DeAndre Hopkins to the Chiefs. Now, Hopkins has long been linked in trades, but no one's been willing to pay the cost, both the contract cost involved and the Cardinals' alleged desire of a second-round pick. Now, the trade idea from Bleacher Report was a third-round pick. Goes to Arizona. The Chiefs get Hopkins, and I'll tell you what, Hopkins and Mahomes seems unfair. I don't think the rest of the NFL likes that idea, although I think the NFL is not sold on Hopkins remaining a long-term piece in the NFL because injuries, age, contract, missed time, for some potentially weird reasons, not much interest in Hopkins. And in general, when that happens, the player doesn't have that much time left in the NFL. It's the NFL. Sometimes they're pretty smart. So of the 2 big names here to begin, who gets traded first? AR for Aaron Rodgers, DH for DeAndre Hopkins. It's the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. AR, DH at the pinned comment. I hate going back-to-back Chiefs trades, but that's what Bleacher Report did because that makes sense. The Rams have allowed Robinson to seek out a trade, and there has been zero interest. And be honest, you might have forgotten that the A-Rob was available. The trade idea from Bleacher Report was a 2024 Day 3 pick, with this trade going on after June 1st to save the Rams some more money. And it's the money that's the problem here. A-Rob has been bad for 2 years in a row. He's due over $15 million each of the next 2 years. The Rams save more money after June 1st. I think if they want to move him, they have to eat a significant portion of the contract this year and or next year, because it's just not a team-friendly deal. The last 4 years for Allen Robinson, a player who was once quarterback-proof, didn't matter who was throwing him the football, he was going to go for 1,000 yards. 22 games, hasn't hit 800. That's a red flag, and I think that's a big factor in why there's been zero reported interest in Allen Robinson so far. Are you tired of struggling with bad habits? Cold turkey might be great for sandwiches, but there's a better way to break free from those pesky habits, and it doesn't involve any weird mind voodoo or any other bizarre tactics. Our sponsor, Fume, is an innovative, award-nominated device, helps you kick bad habits to the curb by focusing on the good parts. Fume is all about embracing the natural. It's not electronic, and instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air. Best of all, it's free of harmful chemicals and packed with delicious, all-natural flavors. The adjustable airflow dial and movable parts and magnets make it perfect for fidgeting, which can help alleviate stress and anxiety while you break your habit. I wasn't sure what to expect at first, but I was pleasantly surprised by the taste, feel, and look of Fume. Breaking a habit can be tough, but with Fume, it's easy, enjoyable, and even fun. With over 100,000 customers and countless success stories, there's no reason you can't be next. Start your journey towards a healthier lifestyle with the Journey Pack from Fume. Visit tryfume.com/chatsports and use code chatsports for 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. That's tryfum.com/chatsports. And don't forget to use code chatsports for 10% off your order. The link is down in the comment section and the description of today's show. Next up is Austin Ekeler to the Bengals. Now, Ekeler has requested a trade. He did not get a contract he wanted for the Chargers, and I don't know if anyone is going to offer that for Austin Ekeler, but maybe a one-year rental would intrigue some teams, although that would be just what the Chargers are doing. Their trade idea was a 4th-round pick to L.A. Bengals get Ekeler, also move on from Joe Mixon, so it's actually some short-term contract savings, assuming they don't pay Ekeler long-term. If they do, well, it's a different conversation in the end. I don't know if teams want to pay a 3rd contract for a back in the modern-day NFL, but Ekeler, look, we know how good he is through the air and on the ground. I mean, we're talking about a almost 20-touchdown player who can get you 900 yards on the ground and let's just say 650 through the air. That is fairly rare at the running back position. The concern is teams worry how much longer he has left in the tank. And that's not fair. It's like in a pure talent level, a 4th is low for Ekeler. But it's a long-term thing. How long will he stay that guy? I think the concern is not that much longer. Let's get weird. The Panthers trade the number 1 pick. Now, they already gave up a haul to move pick number 1, and a trade down would certainly be a surprise. But the idea was Texans get number 1, Panthers get number 2. They still get their quarterback, which I think borders on just kind of galaxy bringing it a little bit of like, we're going to trade down, still get our guy. Teams don't do that very often at the quarterback spot. Panthers get another day 2 pick, 2nd-round pick. So it's like, it makes sense like in Madden, but in real life, Carolina's probably going to prefer one guy over the other, and that 2nd-round pick isn't enough to have things make sense there. It'll probably be Bryce Young or Stroud, although there have been some whispers out of Houston that they want Bryce Young. And maybe Carolina will start to leak that they want Bryce Young too, and maybe they want Stroud. It's a little bit dicey, but it's a unique idea. I'll put it that way. Now, Chat Sports has the best NFL draft videos out there. Plus, it is free. So if you haven't already, subscribe. YouTube.com/chatsportstv. Another draft trade, the Raiders move up in round 1. Now, the Bleacher Report article mentioned 3 or 5 as trade-up targets, but if you're going up to get a quarterback, you want to get to 3 so Indy does not snipe you. The rough trade was 2 firsts and more was all that was specified. It would probably be another day 2 pick or maybe a future pick in there with the quarterback tax involved in that idea. But if it'd be a little weird for the Raiders to spend all that money on Jimmy Garoppolo, then go draft somebody. But if you want your quarterback, it's going to save your jobs long term. If you're McDaniels and the GM, Dave Ziegler, makes some sense. Now the issue is it's probably going to be Levis or Richard. Now maybe Stroud falls. Maybe Stroud falls to 3 or Young falls to 3. Maybe at that point it makes even more sense for Vegas to get aggressive and go move up for somebody. But it would still be, I think, a bit of a surprise for the Raiders to jump up at this stage. Now, one more player still to come. Before we get there, name a player who you think ends up getting traded. Sound off for us in the comment section. Lamar Jackson, the final player from Bleacher Report, and doesn't that just make sense? You knew he was going to be on this list. I also don't know if anyone's going to make a move. Now, they did not mention a trade package, but assuming it's the offer sheet not matched and traded, it's 2 first-round picks for Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens is the trade package there. And it would be a lot of money. You're talking not just probably in the $50 million per year range. You're talking significant guarantees from that standpoint. I'll throw this out there too, just by the way. And there's some pros and cons here. If you're Indy and you knew the Ravens weren't going to match, you would want to wait till after the draft because you would keep the number 4 overall pick, move your next 2 firsts, in theory, would be far later. But if the Ravens do match, now you're in trouble because you're starting Gardner Minshew and your GM might be getting fired over this and jobs might be lost because, well, the Ravens, we're not going to get a quarterback this year. Are they just going to match it? So that's the danger of doing that. But in terms of maximizing your value, it's a good way to go about it.